Discover, experience, repeat.
We are back with Fly here at CIUT 89.5 FM. I'm your host, Melissa Rodway, and I have the good fortune of having Doug O'Neill with me again in the studio. Doug is a very, very solid, wonderful travel writer. That's a terrible opening.
Thank you for the terrible opening.
Yeah.
You're terribly welcome. Thanks for being here. I'm glad to be back.
So you were there this year on a hike. So tell us about this hike. What was it called?
This hike this time, it's called the Cleveland Way, which I only became aware of maybe about 3 months before I went. And it's this 109-mile hike. It's in northeastern England in North Yorkshire. It's an incredible hike. And what I loved about it, and its unique feature, it's that, okay, and so in England, when you're hiking, if you're hiking the South Downs Way, you're on the coast. If you're hiking the Cotswolds Way, you're going through picturesque villages. The Cleveland Way, it's interesting because it's half through the moorlands in the interior, like desolate, up in the moorlands in the interior, and then the other half, it's along the coast. You never get both experiences on a hiking trail.
Wow.
And this one, I loved it. It's in northeastern England, 109 miles.
Miles or kilometers?
Miles.
Oh, wow.
109 miles. And well marked, easy to find. And what I loved about it was, do you remember All Creatures Great and Small, that show about James Herriot, the country
I just remember
vet?
the church song.
Okay. Well, the terrain is beautiful. So I began in Osmotherley, this little town of Osmotherley, stayed in a great pub, rooms upstairs, good coffee, good beer, and then set out hiking. And I hiked through the moorlands, and the moorlands are desolate. It's like on top of the moors, it's heather, it's windswept. I'm thinking, Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights,
Nice.
that kind of mood. So there was that kind of ambiance, and hiking through the heather, windy, up on the cliff tops. And then you descend into these lush green river valleys with green fields and sheep and cows and thatched houses and farmhouses. And because in England, the hikers, and which they call ramblers, have right of way. So if it's an ancient walkway, they can, if it cuts through a farmer's field, you have a right to go through the farmer's field.
Oh, neat.
So it's really interesting. At one point, the trail went between the farmer's house and the shed, and I was feeling very, very, sheepish about it. But they were just saying, "Hey, how are you? Enjoy the day," and blah blah blah. So they're cool.
So nice.
So the scenery is beautiful. It's lush green and then hilly. And then you're walking on slate paths. And then a couple of days later, you're on the coast through seaside villages, smelling the salt-scented air, the wind of the cliff tops, going through fishing villages. It was just wonderful.
Yeah.
It was just, it had something of everything. There were abbeys and historic sites if you want to pursue those. The trail cut through the city of Whitby, which is not huge. It's maybe like 50,000. But there's this, 4th century abbey up on the hill overlooking the town. And in the monks' quarters is a craft brewery run by hipsters.
Perfect.
It was ideal because hikers like pints after they hike.
Yeah.
So it was having the beauty of the luxury of two different kinds of scenery. I just love that.
Yeah. Was it a week? How many days were you
I was there for a week. I didn't do all of it. I did about 4 sections. I'd say my favorite section was from a place called Osmotherley to Claybank Top. And what I loved about it was just steep cliffs. Cliffs. Climbing up, climbing down, climbing up, climbing down. It was just beautiful. And I saw evergreen trees, fir trees. I tend not to think about England having fir trees. That's like Canada. But the climate just so different and windy. But that one was a good workout. Interesting rock formations. There's this area called the Wainstones. There were like these tall cylinder-shaped rocks, about 40 feet high. They'd been there forever, just on a hilltop. They looked like Stonehenge had tumbled down. And
Wow.
It was just beautiful, like rock formations.
What kind of fitness level do you need for this, like, or hiking experience?
I would say for some sections, if you're a beginner hike, you just gauge yourself and do less. Like the one day from Osmotherley to Claybank, that was about 18 kilometers. There are small towns that you could stop, but I think you need to have some legs. For the moorland section, which is hillier, the coastal section, not so much. You could get away with it in most places, but not all. But I think you'd a little bit of experience, yeah.
And you were not carrying your equipment or your bag on this one?
No.
Nice.
I had my day pack, and that's all I had. I decided to take advantage of a Sherpa network. So basically, I used a company called Celtic Trails.
I've heard of Celtic Trails.
Well,
Oh,
they're
awesome.
amazing. You can use them to whatever degree you want. I mean, you can have them plan out the hotels, where you're going to stay, like what distances you want to cover. But because I'm, coming from overseas, so my suitcase, they would pick it up at the B&B or the hotel in the morning. I would just leave it in the lobby, and I would arrive at my lodging in the afternoon, and there it would be.
Oh, how nice.
I loved that.
Yeah.
In some places, one day I had to skip from one section to another. I was only overseas for a week. And for most people, I mean, depending on how much time, how many vacation days you have, I didn't want to do just the moorlands. I wanted to do some of the coast. So I did 2 days in the interior in the moorlands. And then one day they arranged a car to pick me up. They drove me to the coast, and I started in a small town so I could get another 2 or 3 days on the coast.
Oh, how smart.
It was brilliant.
Was it expensive working with Celtic Trails?
No, not expensive. I would say, I mean, it can be expensive. You choose your lodging, so you can go more expensive on your lodging. I was mostly modest, although when I was in Osmotherley, I was in a country pub that had the best food ever. It was just, there's a lovely tradition of hiking in these places. There are mud scrapers by the door. No one frowns at you when you come in wearing all your gear. Most of the pubs I went into, they also had a water bowl for dogs because some people hike with their dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs in the restaurant was cool. But there's an understanding of what hikers need.
Yes, I love that.
They just understood it.
Yeah.
Well-marked trails, beautifully well-marked. Some countries you go, you may need a guide if you're only there for a week and you haven't studied the terrain very much. There are well-marked
Did you have
blazes.
a guide, or were you on your own? You were on your
I
own.
did it on my own. I loved it. I just would get up in the morning, have breakfast out the door. But I like the setup, scenery, the fresh air. Most of the B&B owners would the smell of the heather. Hikers, and if they weren't with an organization, North York, like a Sherpa, it's the biggest patch of heather in the world. They would drive you to the trailhead. They knew where the trail was.
Oh, nice.
And the cook at one restaurant was driving a couple American women to one trail. And said, I'm going to take you to a different opening because there's been a mudslide there the last week. So they know the community when she's on the moors. And evenings, I know I'm getting carried away and romanticized. Solo, hitting the
your
pubs,
wig in the corner.
Have a pint or 2 or 3.
Nice. Sounds so much fun.
It was, and it was getting a sense of the seaside villages. Rural villages and farming communities are very different from seaside villages. And I also walked on the narrowest street in all of Britain.
Oh, how narrow was it?
I could stand there and my shoulders would be touching.
Seriously?
But it was considered a street. It was a passageway. So it was in a little village called Staithes, Staithes. It's Captain Cook had lived there at one point.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
And there's a Captain Cook museum. They have a couple small craft breweries, but it's not all touristy. It's just an authentic seaside village.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I loved it.
So, Doug, you always have a story. Tell us, do you have a memorable moment from this trip?
A memorable moment from this trip. Well, when you stay in small country inns,
Yeah.
and sometimes B&Bs, you get quirky people.
Right.
Yes.
You're the type of person that attracts quirky people.
I know you.
Yeah, me, yours truly. but that's
No,
fun.
there was one day I was hiking. It was not Claybank. It was I was hiking from Stace to Whitby. So this is on the seaside section, and I was walking along, and there was a pair of ladies' underwear on this
wow.
twig.
Oh, really?
And I thought, that's odd. I mean, they looked fresh and new, sort of. I mean, I didn't sniff them, but I kind of thought, that's odd. And I walked on about 200 yards and I saw this, middle-aged French woman looking around, and I said, may I help you? Est-ce que je peux vous aider? And she said, no, things fly out of my knapsack. I lose things. And I think she was embarrassed to say, have you seen my underwear?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Perhaps I think she had opened up her backpack and
Things
went to
fell
change, and things went flying because it was very windy. And
That's hysterical.
anyway, did you lose anything? She asked me, did you see anything? I said, well, what were you looking for?
Yeah. Did you tell her that you had seen them?
Yep.
And that's what she was looking
Yes,
for.
but the elastic was broken, honey. You're going to need to get new ones.
That is hysterical.
But I think when you are hiking through small villages, and especially when you're hiking solo, you do meet interesting people. There was one B&B owner. She had 8 guests, and you had to tell her in the morning or the previous evening what time you're having breakfast. And I think, no, there were only 5 of us. And I said I would eat breakfast at 7:30. And I went down at 7:30, and a couple of other Brits were hiking. They came down and said, oh, well, we'll join you. And then she came in and said, oh, you can't eat. You're not scheduled to 8:30. Oh. And thing is, all the food was on the table already. Hard-boiled eggs, toast, croissant was all there. She said, no, I'm not ready to have you.
Really?
It was hilarious.
So did they go and come back?
They kind of just giggled.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
You always meet. B&B owners can be quirky.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. To want to have weird people in your house, you have to be weird too.
Exactly. Yes.
And so it was easily accessible. Logistics are easy to figure out.
Easy to get to. From Toronto, I would say fly into Manchester. And you can take the train to whatever little town you want to start in, depending on your distance. So you can use train service. A lot of the small towns will have a train nearby. Using cabs is so common in small villages.
Really?
I cut through a couple farms and I thought, why is that taxi going to a farm? I don't think farming communities in Canada, I don't think we would use cabs. But the distances aren't as great. And if you don't have a car or if you're going somewhere, it was quite common. Sometimes I'd be coming out, I'd be hiking, and some people would finish hiking and they would have called a cab to pick them up to go to the village. In places where there are no buses. So
oh, neat.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was a way to make it happen. Because when you are traveling, if you only have X number of days, you want to get from A to B.
Yeah.
And who wants to spend the last 2 hours of the day walking along a road to get back to your B&B? Because we don't like road walking.
No,
on
I
pavement.
hate road walking.
We don't.
So this doesn't sound like a popular, like it's not well known the Cleveland way.
It's not well known. It's probably not well known to Canadians, but there's so many great hiking trails in the UK. I mean, people tend to know the Cotswolds. They know the South Downs Way along the cliffs. They know the Wales Coastal Path. Through Devon, there are some trails. So I think it's a matter of just looking for them because as, people travel more, you don't necessarily want to do the same trails other people have done.
No.
And this one's so unique because you get the seaside and you get the moorlands.
So you recommend it?
I highly recommend it.
Okay. Well, this is great. I'm going to put this one on my list for sure. And it doesn't.
Oh, can I tell you about one other treat?
Yes.
Okay, so fish and chips.
Oh, yum.
In Britain, they're taken seriously.
Yeah.
So every year they have a competition, the best fish and chips in all of the UK. This has been on for about 20 years. And in Whitby, Trencher's Fish and Chips has entered the competition 8 years. And 3 years ago, they got up to 3rd place. And then they kept entering, but they said, okay, we give up. We're never going to win anything. And in 2019, they won.
Wow.
So the Cleveland Way cuts through Whitby. And I spent the night in Whitby. So I went to Trencher's. So if you want the best fish and chips, silky fish. It was so delicious. The batter is delicious.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's another reason. Oh, and there's a great pub It's in an abbey. It's on a town in
Ooh, I
Whitby
like that.
overlooking the village and Great Pints. It's
Was that the Black Bull? The one you
No,
sent
the
a
Black
picture?
Bull is a different place.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Went to several pubs
I'm sure.
for research purposes only.
Absolutely.
You have to stay hydrated.
I get
Melissa,
it.
you can't just, you need your fluids when you're hiking.
You don't have to convince me, Doug. Well, this is great. I love hearing about unique trails to do, especially over in England, because I would like to do more hiking there. So thank you for that. Been again speaking with Doug O'Neill here on Fly at CIUT 89.5 FM. I am your host, Melissa Rodway. So that's it. Thank you.
Thanks.